Good day, everyone. I hope you are all snuggled in and safe in the States. We had a snowstorm on Sunday, into Sunday night at around 1 o'clock in the morning. The power went out, and we haven't had any power until it was late yesterday when the power came back on. Pretty bad. Don't remember the power going out for that long. So I had these done. They were supposed to be on Monday morning or Sunday. And now that the power's back on, I could do it and use my phone and my computer and everything. It's the third rug that I ever stitched in the photo. And pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. This, most especially, is what made me decide to do this rug. It is like a once-in-a-lifetime blanket for me. It has white threads in it, but the threads are going not sure which way, but you can see the white threads here. You can see the little bit of white there. So I think the threads are going this way. Part of it's wool, most of it's cotton. I wanted to show you a trick, the way that I put the tongues on, because you may want to do this yourself with your own kit. It's so super easy. Before I go into telling you all of the instructions and actually how to do it, I'm going to show you this. I think I live a very sheltered life. I did not know this existed. I mean, I've had double-sized tape, which I don't know where it is. I've had the white, and we've used that quite a bit, but never the Scotch tape with double-sided. It is my go-to now instead of glue. I'm not going to be using glue unless it's very slightly and very tiny pennies, but this is amazing. It's not easy to get out. Now, we'll pretend that this is this big lump here. I put the tape close to the edge, and then I put my tongues on. Now it's the spacement of the tongues that you need to watch out for, and this tape is good because you can lay it out and have it all done to just stitch this to the pennies. And you don't even have to move your tape if you do it a bit different. How am I doing this? Yeah, okay. Okay, this I just put the tape to the edge. This one, you want it outside a bit for a 1/4 inch seam, okay? So you put that on. Then you put your tongues, I hope this comes through on video, I can't watch it and see at the same time. You put your tongues just past, 1/4 inch past, because you need a stitching line. Yeah, those two will do. And again, gosh, it is sticky. And again, if you want to measurement, to do an exact measurement, put your masking tape on a 1/4 inch from the edge, or a 1/2 inch. These can go on with a 1/2 inch, definitely. See? There, 1/2 inch. So, and then you would stitch, lift it up, and take your tape off. Simple as that. The other thing that I have done with this one is these are stuck down. These are not. The second penny is not attached, but the bottom one is. And this is how I did that. Stick your tape down. Let's see if I can find a big penny. Oh, of course, no, I don't have a big penny. We'll pretend this one's big. Oh, I'll take one out of here. Oh, that's good. Put your penny on. Doesn't come off. It's stuck. So the side that you don't have your tape, see, that's the side up there. I would start my needle there. And I would start it there and do a few stitches around. Then I would just remove the tape and it's in place. And then you can go around and stitch it. That's how I am going to do my circle rugs after this without glue. I like to have them all together and on my lap, and then I just go around and stitch. I do not stitch like this. I wouldn't stitch those pennies on. Those pennies go on last for me when I stitch. I stitch the big one, and now I will use the tape to put them in place and remove the tape as I start stitching them. But I absolutely love this double-sided tape. I can't believe I didn't know about that sooner. Okay, let's go into how it's done. Now, the first thing that I would suggest you do, get these all out of the way. Now, first thing I suggest you do is your tongues. Do your tongues. Now, this contraption I have, I don't like holding them and doing them. I like to have my two hands when I stitch. I like to go like this and hold my thread and then do it and pull and hold my thread. I don't like to have something that I have to hold in my hand. So this is a make-do. This is one of those lap desks, soft. This is just a bunch of fabric rolled up with press and seal. So I have the two held down with safety pins on each side so it doesn't move. This sits on my lap and I can position it. I use pins to pin into this, and then I have my two hands and do that. Now, we have to take these off because I want to show you about the stitches. Okay. So that is the first thing that you actually should do, is to do the stitching around the tongues. I would put it close to the edge because you want that underneath. And then you're actually going to either whip stitch or blanket stitch these to here, to the back. The last thing you would put on is your lining back here. That's the very last thing you do. So that is the sequence. It's these pennies. I would put the large pennies, if I were doing it, I would only put the large pennies on and not the small ones, like this. And I would blanket stitch those to the base on my lap, I would use tape, but you can use pins, especially those little pins, the little embroidery pins. And then once all of that is done, then I would put these on row by row. They don't have to all go on. Once you get the sequence, you can just take them up like this. Once you lay it out and do this, put them aside, and then put one on at a time and stitch it. Unless you want to work with your pins. You can also do pins. Okay, I get this back in place. I'm really out of sorts doing videos. I can't imagine. I'm afraid to listen to this one. It's been so long. Your kit comes with tongues, and this is very, very important for this kit. Absolutely. This is not the usual way that I send a kit, something like this. I would send it in rows, have these marked last row, center row, and etc. These really aren't rows. They're just, you fill in the blanks. And there is a bit of a pattern to it. This is your outside row. The second row inside has nothing of the plaid in. It's just that. And then you have this inside with plaid and the other pennies to match this. So how the kit is going to be sent to you, you've got extra tongues. You would need to cut, see if I can find, they come square like this, and you would need to cut your circle, just like Tasha's Garden. So you would put it on and you would cut, and one of those are going to be in there for your sample. It's pretty simple. As far as the pennies go, they're not going to be into rows. They're going to be all the large size. Bottom penny is in one bag. And again, do not think that you need to use up every one of those, because in my other kits, I had it pretty much exact, and then I had the package with the extras. That's not how this is. All of the pennies on one size go in one bag, and there are more pennies than you will need, because I want you to be able to change the layout if you would like. You don't have to go by my layout. Okay, so you have 3 bags of pennies, the small, the medium, and the large. That's in your kit. These are in your kit, and there are extras. There is no thread, as usual. But I want to show you something about the threads later on. Okay, so my layout, and I do this quite often with any type of penny rug. I have 3 sizes. Okay, I'm still in camera range. The plaid penny is the one that I want muted because it's so in your face. That's the first thing you see. And the plaids, you cannot cut, how would I say? You can't cut them all to make them look good, because that's out of the penny. And this is out of the penny, so they have different, because they were plaids. So the bottom penny, where does that go? Okay. The bottom penny is the one that needs to be muted a bit. And you do that with thread. Oh, there you are. So I put a larger penny on to make the amount of fabric that's plaid narrow. So your stitches would go there, and it really tones down that fabric. The little ones on this, if you do the center out, which is what I did on mine pretty much, that also tones it down. And these are just there because I need some sort of a reddish color in there. But you do not have to do that. I mean, you can use small pennies there or whatever you have. You can mix and match them. It's just, I believe there's more, I don't know what to call it. There's more going on in the mat when you have large, 3 different sizes, and you do that, rather than everything looking exactly the same, or everything with that second penny the same. It just mixes up a bit, and it looks much better. At least I think it does. So, okay, we have the pennies, they go first. We have the bags, and there's 3 different bags with 3 different sizes. You have extras. Please don't think that you need to use everything in the bag. It is extras there for you to mix and match and change the colors and do whatever you want. So that is how that's made. Do not do this edge until the pennies are finished and on there. I wouldn't do it until everything is done on the top. Like your pennies are all stitched. These are stitched and put there with tape or needles, stick pins, in order to bind. Then you go, and I can't do this, but you turn it over. You make sure those pennies are stitched, but then you put your lining on. The very last thing, or the very next to last thing, is this edging all around. So your tongues have to be stitched first. Then lay out your pennies, stitch your pennies, put your tape or pin these, and make sure that they're sort of equal. Now, you notice they're a little bit far apart here, and I did the same with my original rug. You see, you have stitches here, so you have to allow for that. You can't just butt them up close because they'll bunch. So you need to have a bit of room in between those. And most important, you need to have your corner penny. Now, I want to show you something about that, because this is pretty good. That's pretty good. You can have this out over if you would like. Instead of having it under, you can have it. I don't know if I can do that. Should be able to. It's one thing about tape. You can take it off and stick it back on. It's not like glue. Let's see if I can get that on. There, you can do it that way. I prefer that way. And make sure it comes out a little bit. Should be out a little bit. Or you can do it this way. I like that. But if you do this, make sure that you have your edge up in there far enough and that it's like this. Now, on all of them, I didn't have that done. Now, this one I don't like. This one should be in and up here a bit. This is the only little iffy part to get those straight. But the one with this one and just sticking out, if you can't do the other way and you don't like it, that's perfect. Okay, so that is pretty much it to put it together. Tongue stitch first, penny stitched on. You can either put your backing on then or stitch this to your tongues and then put your backing on. That's absolutely it. That's all there is to that. It's very, very easy and simple to do. Really, I think this could be a beginner rug. Now, as far as threads, the last part of this is threads. Where is it? Okay. Can you see that? Good. In the photo, the red is not the color of the penny. It's the color of the thread. And the same with the red here. So what I've done is I've taken all of the top pennies and I used red embroidery floss. I've taken all of the bottom ones. I'm not sure if it's black or navy. I didn't have any navy to check, but I think navy would look good, but black looks pretty good too. So that's how I did mine. Now, you absolutely do not have to do that. You can put threads the color that you want. You can blanket stitch. You can do any type of stitch that you'd like. But this, to me, because I tried to make this look old. This is a close-up, and see, I tried to do the stitches like that. I made them messy. Pulled, so that it was as if it was worn for years and years and years, and the threads pulled. That's pretty much that. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that and the colors of the thread. I believe that's red floss. It looks a bit pink in the but no, I'd never use pink. Absolutely never would I use pink. Okay, so first is your tongues. Blanket stitch. This is 6 strands. Now this is what it would look like. It's very heavy. This is, okay, this is, I think 3 strands, 4 strands, or 6 strands. It looks like 6 strands. So I would match whatever you do here to here. That's a bit heavy for the thread, I find, for the pennies. So I wouldn't do that one, but this is 3 strands. To my liking, I don't think that's heavy enough. I would do 4 strands maybe there, but definitely not any more than that. So generally, whatever you're using there, you use on the tongues, but you want to have a bit more emphasis on that thread on the tongue. So this is 3 strand, which I would use here. I honestly would put another strand in and use 4. I know it messes up the floss because you only have 2 strands left, but I really find that's a little, it's to your preference, really, but I really find that might be a little too thin. This is too heavy. It's like the Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, wasn't it? This one is too big. This one is not enough. 4 strands would be just right. Okay, now as far as the threads, absolutely just do it normal if you don't like these. But the way to do those is after you're finished, and I should have a big needle, which I don't. You just take your threads and pull them. Can you see? Just pull them every which way. Just give them tugs. And just pull on them every which way, and they look worn that way. So what else? Oh yes, okay. I am going to show you this. It doesn't really relate to to this mat, but the others is there. The other is that darn tape. That's another one that I did. It's funny on the inside. So, piece of tape. This is how to cut pennies. Actually, just found that out this morning. What else is here? Now, I have these. I have a little one here somewhere. Here it is. So unless you have a machine, these are really small, and I mean, that's the size of that, right? This one is a little bit smaller. This is the smallest one I have, but I want to show you a neat trick how to easily cut those. Double-sided tape. This doesn't come off, see? Oh my, where's my scissors? It was really quite nice having no power for the first day, because it doesn't matter what you have planned, you can't do it. Okay, this is tape, this little scissors. And this is, you see, this is solid, high up, and it's got a little, you notice a little edge on it. So this is what your scissors go up against. It won't go in to cut it, like if you were doing paper, or even with Colleen's templates. Those are very thin. This is quite heavy. So this is what you guide your scissors on. You just keep them right on that edge and cut. And you can feel it. You just press in a little bit with the scissors. This is just the neatest thing. I just found out about this morning. There you go. Let's take that off and put it here. Now, what's really nice is these are, I believe, how to mark seam allowance. You put your pencil there, and this stays on the edge, and you just go around, and that's your seam allowance. I don't know what they're called. I actually got them at Temu. That doesn't belong there, does it? Yes, it does. I got them at Temu. They're different sizes, so it's 7 mm and 10 mm. They're on it. Those do your exact seam allowance on whatever you're making. And of course, this one is a small one, and that's 5, 7, and 10. But they also have, these are the quilted bear, and these are for quilting, all different sizes. They have holes in this, but I'm not. Those are the seam allowance holes that you would put marks on for your seam allowance, which is, that would really, oh my gosh. Okay, Okay, if you're learning to do the blanket stitch, like that, you cut your penny, you put your little dots of, what are those the white pens that disappear. That way you can do your length of your stitches and make them even. Once you do it for a while, it automatically goes even. You don't need anything like that. But I actually didn't notice that those had those lines in for the 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, whatever it is. Anyway, they come in really large pieces. So these are about the best for sizing for your penny rugs. And there's loads of them, right down to the smallest one. This is the smallest one. But you would do exactly the same. And the idea is, let me put this one down and show you. When you're cutting by hand, it's much easier. I need a piece of something. It is much easier to have something to guide your scissors than just paper. Am I here? Okay. You keep pressing in towards the penny on this. Your scissors, you keep pressing, and that's what you guide your scissors with. And it's so simple. Like, it's probably just as quick as when Brother Moth does those. Then you turn it around. Got a little tip there, maybe. It's usually where your scissors go in for the first cut. But look at that. See how that frays? So you have to be careful about that when you're using it. But most of the wools will work. So yeah, you have all those sizes to cut pennies. Just discovered that this morning. Okay, I think that's it. Try the other bit. So, the thickness of thread, of course, is your choice. I would use 3 strands if it were me doing it, and 4 strands for this, because you want a little thicker edge on those. I've showed you how to mess the stitches up. I have that on YouTube somewhere on a video. And I showed you how to easily cut pennies. I showed you the thing for the tape. I think everything is done. Now, what I'm going to do is, my website is up and running. We got it working, and we're not going to change it until about a month from now, when I have things for my course ready, because my website, I want to look exactly as the pages in my course that I'm going to be teaching, because I'm going to teach a penny rug class and show you all sorts of little tips and tricks and things that I have learned over the last 25 years. And I think that's it. So for now, I am going to put these on the website, and I'll give you the link to it. There's not that many. I believe, I don't have my paper here, but I believe I have 6, because some have already sold. They've sold, once I told them the one I'm doing, this one, they wanted it right away. So I think 3 or 4 of them sold. I had 10 altogether, so I got 6. And I think they're going to go fast. Now, tomorrow or the next day, depending, will be bundles and some little odds and ends that I'm gathering up. So sometime after this, there will be bundles. I left the bundles go until last because I can't multitask. I had to get this one done and finished first. The other thing is the snowstorm. We're going to be getting another one the end of the week, and who knows? I have to be prepared for this one. Last one I wasn't. Okay, well, thank you so much. They're going to be on the website. I apologize for rambling on. I'm just not in the mood to do a video today. Just getting back to normal after no power. So it takes a bit. Thank you, everyone. And the name of this one is Third Mat from the Wool Closet. Just like Third Rock from the Sun, right? Or Alien Adventure. Yeah, the third rug that I stitched. Can't believe how long ago that was. Gosh. Okay, well, thank you again. And everyone stay safe and warm and be careful of your weather. It seems to be hitting everywhere now. And happy stitching.